Welcome to the voice of St. Anthony Parish from Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WROL 950 AM 100.3 FM. And you can also hear us at CatholicAudiomedia.com. That's CatholicAudiomedia.com. And don't forget to let other people know that you are listening to the program and where they can find it from their favorite podcast platform, including our home platform, which is Podbean. You can also check it out in other venues as well, also at CatholicAudiomedia.com. So all different ways, and share the word. Let people know. Tell them, I heard this and I really liked it, or I heard this and you know what he said, hey. Let people know. It reminds me of my father. My father used to write for the Boston Globe back when it was owned by the Taylors, which it hasn't been since the New York Times bought it and since it's been owned by the Red Sox. So in any case, what happened was during the time that my father worked for the Globe, obviously would get complaints, or he would get complaints, obviously at the Globe, but, people may not like something he wrote or someone else wrote or anything like that. And he would always say, as long as they buy the newspaper. So in any case, if you don't like the show and you want to listen to it because you don't like the show, hey, that's fine too. I would prefer that you really like the program and it really builds your faith and it really leads you to a deeper understanding of what it means to be a disciple of Christ. We're going to look at our Good Friday homily right now. So check that out, a Good Friday homily. This is what I preached then.
That I always bring out, and people have actually said to me, you don't have to keep saying this, but I think it's important. It's always around this time that you hear from people within the Jewish community that get very concerned, especially when we're listening to the Gospel of John, where the focus is the Jews. Well, the reason why the focus is the Jews, because this happened in Jerusalem, and that's the reason. If this happened in Rome, we'd be talking about the Catholics, although anachristically that would be kind of different, but you get my point. But the other thing is that Jesus was crucified by Jews and Romans. In the Jewish world, there's two kinds of people, Jews and Gentiles. And therefore, he is crucified by a representative of Jews and Gentiles, which represents all of us. So that's an important thing to look at, that literally, as we understand this theologically, he was crucified for our sins by representatives of all of us. When we go to look at this powerfully, we can see that you're actually seeing this huge clash going on. Because what you see is the people who are determined to see that he dies. And why? They're rooted in their own vision, they're rooted in fear, and they're rooted in anger. The fear is of the Roman Empire, because they're afraid that the Romans will come in, see Jesus as a rebel, and because of that, they will come in and wipe out all of Jerusalem. They will destroy the temple, and they will take away the Jewish state, which, by the way, happens 40 years later. But they're afraid of that. And so they realize, as Caiaphas says, it's better for one to die than for all. So that's where that motivation comes. And if you listen very carefully to this account, there's one point where they say, we have no king but Caesar. Keep Caesar happy and we'll be happy, is almost what they're saying. And they're making it clear that they are willing to sacrifice Jesus for the sake of everything they have in Jerusalem. And that is this conflict of wills. The other thing we see is Jesus. Jesus is totally obedient to the Father. And so in doing so, he does what the Father says. And the Father says to be obedient and to offer himself to, which ultimately is the cross. There's a third party in there. That's the devil. One of my favorite descriptions of this comes from the 7th century, a man by the name of Maximus the Confessor. And if you look at it this way, if you ask why did Jesus die, that he died for our sins. And theologically, he could have died of old age and died for our sins. So why did he die? This is what St. Maximus the Confessor asked. Why did he die at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a cross in Jerusalem? And what he realized is actually what you were witnessing is literally the last temptation of Jesus. Jesus' mission was to fulfill the law. And the law is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. That was what he was told to do. And he's being totally obedient to the Father by following the law. All of the rest of that is being sent to him by the devil trying to get him to break that law. And so as Maximus says, what we're actually witnessing is the devil trying to get him to do everything possible to break the law. And the devil fails. And that is literally how Jesus is able to defeat the devil. And so it's a reminder that literally everything we're called to do is based in love. The Jews at the time are following the law. So they're doing what the law says, and they're basing everything there. But the law, as it is written, also requires to act in love. And this is something Jesus is fighting with all the time. And by the way, we're fighting the same thing in our church today. Our ultimate goal is to love God, love neighbor. That always has to be there. And all the rules of the church are to help us to do that. You know, I've always said that if you follow perfectly the rules of the church, you will have lived perfectly the minimum standard of Catholicism. We're called to go deeper than that, and that's a deeper call than just living the rules. The rules are the minimum standard, so we're not to go below them, but as St. Paul says, we're go to beyond them. And so that rule of love, which is what Jesus demonstrates throughout his ministry, happens through that ministry, and he has that clash by the people who are following that letter of the law. He's bringing in the Spirit. The others are saying, but this is the letter of the law. We don't heal people on the Sabbath, but Jesus says, but the law was made for the human, not human for the law. If someone is sick, we heal them because that's an act of love. And there you have this clash. So Jesus is living that law perfectly, but he is being also attacked by those who in fear are trying to live the letter of the law without focusing on the spirit of the law. And as I told you earlier in the week, if you watch this week, and you all can see it in the Stations of the Cross, you see that hardness of heart grow in each and every frame. Remember, this week began with that powerful scene where they actually want to kill Lazarus because people are coming to Jesus because they see Lazarus raised from the dead. And I always say, how evil do you have to be to want to kill someone who was raised from the dead? But we see that. And so that is the clash. But always remember, what is it that you're actually watching? Jesus being totally obedient to the Father. In total humility, and it's that humility and obedience that defeats the devil. And in doing so, we are saved because Jesus lived the law perfectly. And in doing so, as St. Maximus the Confessor taught, the devil's hold is broken and we are saved.
You're listening to the voice of St. Anthony Parish from Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WROL, 950 AM, 100.3 FM. And you can hear us at CatholicAudiomedia.com. That's CatholicAudiomedia.com. We'll be right back right after this. Remember, our website is CatholicAudiomedia.com, where you can connect to the parish, St. Anthony in Allston, Massachusetts. You can listen to the program. You can connect to other platforms that offer our programs. You can send me input to share your thoughts on the readings. You can send feedback, questions, ideas for the program. You can also donate to the show. There is so much you can do at CatholicAudiomedia.com. And you can also write to us if you'd like. Our address can be found there, and I can tell you what it is, too. St. Anthony Parish, 43 43 Holton Street, Allston, Massachusetts, 02134. That's St. Anthony Parish, 43 Holton Street, Allston, Massachusetts, 02134. And don't forget, you have a standing invitation to attend Mass in our parish at 10 o'clock a.m. on Sundays at St. Anthony Parish in Allston, Massachusetts. I want to call your attention to Catholic TV, which offers great faith-filled, family-friendly programming 24 hours a day. You can find your cable channel at www.getcatholictv.com, and you can watch online on the free apps or check out the YouTube channel. Daily Mass, Rosaries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Novena are all available online and on demand. Check out CatholicTV.com. And you can check out Catholic TV to see what they're doing for the Easter season and whatever, who's celebrating Mass and everything else. You can check that out, CatholicTV.com. Hey, by the way, a simple note, I want to let you know I have a small amount of books available only while supply lasts. So what I have done is to leave a copy or a group of my books signed, by the way. You can get a copy of one of my books. And if you want to come over and you want, until supplies last, your own copy of the book, you're welcome to. However, I'm going to ask you to leave a donation. Now, just so you know, I am donating the books here for this process. So whatever you donate for the book goes to the parish. My cost is about $6-7 a book, somewhere in the vicinity. So in any case, if you donate $6, if you donate $2, if you donate $150, all of it, whatever it is, goes to the parish. So please consider that. And that money goes to help support the parish. And by the way, if that works, that people like to get the book, then I'll order a whole bunch of books and you can pick them up here at the parish. So anyway, they're available, all signed, by the way. And if you want to pick up the book and then come into the rectory, I will write to whomever you want it to send to is fine as well. So that's going on at our parish as well. Very limited supply, but I can always, as what was it that was that old slogan for the chips, eat all you want, we'll make more. I think that was Lay's potato chips or Doritos or something like that. I think they're the same company. But anyway, so come by, we can make more. That's what we can do because I do my stuff print on demand. So that's what we do. So anyway, we talked about, I love that story from St. Maximus the Confessor. He's also very, very popular in the Eastern Church, the Orthodox Church, who's celebrating Holy Week this week, and they're celebrating Easter over the weekend. So that Easter Church is that whole celebration of why Jesus died on the cross. It's really powerful, and I really always like talking about it. I think I mentioned it on the morning show as well. In the meantime, have yourself a blessed day. We're going to talk to you more tomorrow, and we are here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Have a blessed day. In Cristo vivimos.